Nowadays, there's a lot of talk about equality in relationships, and people seem to believe that this idea that men should be leaders in a relationship, the idea of a man being the head of the household, is outdated, old-fashioned, sexist, patriarchal, all that stuff. Apparently, what we should be aiming for is complete equality in relationships, men and women being complete equals, and it sounds nice in theory, but here's the thing. It doesn't work. You see, men tried that. They heard this message that said that male leaders are basically dictators, they're tyrants, and they think, okay, we're going to be more feminine, we're going to be more equal with women, we're not going to display our masculinity in too overt a way. In our relationship, neither of us is going to be the leader. I'm going to be more receptive and we're going to share equally the responsibilities. This is what women said that they wanted, and so this is what men tried. But as we know, the results have been completely disastrous. When men stepped down from that leadership role in favor of more equality, they did so by becoming more feminine and submissive, and it made women furious. Now we have this whole generation of women who are breaking up with men because they're not masculine enough. But of course this was going to happen. This was inevitable because the cultural attitudes are in direct opposition to our biology. They oppose what evolution has shaped each gender to do. For hundreds and thousands of years of human evolution, male-female relationships worked one way and one way only. The man took charge, he took responsibility, and he protected the woman. That's what's natural. That's what our biology encourages us to do. So now we have this incredibly awkward situation where we're getting one message from the culture around us and a completely different message from our biology. And women are just as confused about this as men. You see, women wholeheartedly believe this message of equality, that men and women should be equal inside a relationship. They want equal rights, they want equal responsibilities, they don't want there to be a leader in the relationship. But that's just what their brain is telling them. But their heart, their evolutionary programming, and their are all telling them a completely different message. Beneath that thin layer of cultural programming that exists in the purely mental space, women are in touch with that deep yearning that they have for a strong, confident, masculine leader man. I want you to check out this footage. It's a good demonstration of what I'm talking about.
Would you rather date a man like you can look up to, or someone that you see as more of an equal?
They both sound good. I want to admire him, I guess, but I want to be equal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you feel like women tend to be more attracted to the kind that they...
Yes, that they can follow, I guess.
Follow? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like at least that it's easier for me, I guess, for my personality, to just want to follow along and be like,
Right.
oh, whatever you say goes, it's fine. But as an end goal, no, I don't think that's the right thing.
Okay, she was a really sweet woman, and I might be wrong about this, but I could sense a battle going on inside her. It's a contest between what she thinks is the right answer, the politically correct answer, and what her heart knows to be true. So where does this leave men? What are you supposed to do when women are telling you one thing with their words and something completely different with their actions? How are you meant to make sense of a woman who says that she wants a nice, kind, feminine, gentle guy, but every night she's going out with strong, masculine, macho guys? If you're faced with a choice between listening to a woman's words and listening to her actions, always pay attention to her actions. They reveal the truth. A lot of guys have seen proof of this inside their own lives. They tried the PC, feminine, I'm all about equality method, and it didn't work. But when they stepped up and started to embrace their masculinity and take on that strong, confident leadership role, the women were swooning. If you're in a relationship and you notice that you get a lot of positive reactions and positive reinforcement whenever you act like the man in the relationship, ignore whatever the cultural programming is telling you to do. You keep doing what you're doing. It's working. I was on a Skype call recently, one of my private consultations, and the guy that I was chatting to was telling me how he imagines his future relationship to be one of equals, very egalitarian. Now, even though this can seem counterintuitive, the advice that I told him was to get this idea of egalitarianism, of the two of them being equals, out of his head, because it's an absolute disaster. That is not what she wants. I promise you. The idea of being equal to the man that she's in a relationship with disgusts women. Women do not want to assume that masculine leadership role. Women are feminine. Their femininity is their strength, and who doesn't want to play to their strengths? So what you see today in the world, where there's this whole generation of seemingly angry women who are just permanently pissed off, what they're angry about is that today's men are too feminine. They're not masculine enough. They are furious at men because men surrendered their masculinity. But the world needs masculinity. That's what creates order out of chaos. That's what achieves and protects. If men are shirking their responsibilities of providing that masculinity, then women have to, and they really don't want to. That's why you have this generation of women who are perpetually angry, because they're masculine and they didn't want to have to be. So I'm telling you, you need to be the leader in your relationship. It's up to you to provide the masculinity. All the structure, the order, the safety, that's all got to come from you. And when you're providing that masculinity, it's going to give her permission to indulge her femininity, which is what she wants. Each of you has your own role based on your gender, and neither is better than the other. They're not opposing, they're not in competition. They're cooperative, they're a team, and they work together to create happiness for both people. Now, to finish off, let's just debunk this idea that if you're a leader in a relationship, that means by necessity that you are tyrannical or that you're some kind of dictator. It's complete nonsense, because she chose you. Even if you are the leader in the relationship, she's the one who elected you to be in that position. You're not forcing her to be in a relationship with you. You're not holding her against her will. You are not a dictator, you are a democratically elected leader. That is the big decision that she makes. It's the big decision of women's lives. What man am I going to choose to elect as the leader? It's a big choice, because she needs to trust your judgment. As the man, you're going to be making decisions every single day that are going to have huge impact on both of your lives. You need to take into account the consequences. You need to take responsibility. This is a big task, and she needs to make a sensible and wise decision. When choosing who to be in a relationship with, she has to ask herself really tough questions. Is this a man I can trust? Is this a man who will keep me safe? Is this a man I can follow? Is this the man who's going to be my leader? This is the role that she wants you to play. And trust me, this is not a dictatorship. It is very much a democracy. And if you're a prick, like you're doing a bad job leading in the relationship, you will quickly find out that it's a democracy, because you will get kicked out of office. If you're acting like a tyrant and you're abusing her, she will break up with you so fast. She'll make all of your scandals public. She will dump you, and you will no longer be her leader. As the man, you may be making a lot of the decisions in the relationship, but as a woman, she chooses whether or not you have that power. If you continue to do a good job as leader, then you will get elected year after year. And just in case anybody misunderstands me, as a leader, it is your job to take into account the needs of all of the people that you're responsible for. Just because you're in charge doesn't mean that you're only looking out for yourself. You need to make decisions that are right for you, but also right for her, and for any children that the two of you have. And of course, I don't mean every single decision. This is not black and white. This is nuanced. But on the whole, when it comes to big decisions for you and your family and your relationship, yes, as the man, they fall to you. She will look to you for guidance. She will look to you for leadership. She wants you to respect her. She wants you to take her needs into account. And she even wants veto power. But ultimately, she wants you to take responsibility. That's why she elected you to be the leader. That's why she's in a relationship with you.